Good morning, staff and boys and special guests. With today being a special 30-year-on reunion assembly, we'll start this assembly with the singing of the school song. Thank you. Please be seated. A very warm word of welcome to the 61 old boys from the class of 1995 to this very special assembly today for their 30-year-on reunion. In particular, a very warm word of welcome to those old boys who've traveled from overseas to join us today. We have old boys here today who've come from Botswana, Switzerland, several from the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, from Belgium, Australia, Saudi Arabia, as well as the United States. We also welcome to the assembly those members of the class of 1995 who are part of this occasion via the live stream. We have old boys who join us via the live stream, also from various parts of the country, but also the world. From the Cayman Islands, the Isle of Man, the United Kingdom, Uganda, Austria, Australia, Germany, the United States, Canada, and Greece. In particular, I would like to welcome Robert Schmickel, who joins us via the live stream from Austria. Robert is the head prefect from 1995, and while he's made most of the arrangements for this weekend's reunion, he is unfortunately unable to join his classmates for the occasion. Many of you, and particularly those boys in Solomon House, will remember Matthew Schmickel, who joined us as a Form 3 boy last year. Matthew is the son of Robert. While we are disappointed that all of you cannot be with us in person, thank you for making the effort that you've gone to still be part of this special occasion. It speaks volumes about your continued support and loyalty to the school and your affiliation to the class of 1995. To all of you, a very warm welcome. I'll speak more fully about the class of 1995 a little bit later on in the assembly. In particular, to those members of the reunion group who joined me on stage this morning. Mr. Ian Williams on my immediate right-hand side, who is the Deputy Head Prefect from 1995, and Advocate Adrian de Oliveira, who was a school prefect in the same year. Both Mr. Williams and Mr. de Oliveira will be part of the proceedings later in the assembly, and I'll introduce them to you more fully in a short while. Well, we welcome you to the school this morning and have arranged the special assembly at a different time of the day. The rest of the school day has gone ahead as per normal. The only other difference to this assembly would be the fact that our matrics are not with us. They've begun with their prelim exams today, and therefore those who aren't writing are on study leave. In the short time you've been with us today, you will obviously have noticed that much has changed in the 30 years since you attended the school. But at the same time, it is our hope that certain things will have stayed the same. Thank you for joining us today and this weekend. We wish you a very warm welcome back to the School on the Hill. Mr. Tony Wilkes, many of you will know as the Honorary Life President of the Old Boys Association and former staff member and pupil of the school, having matriculated in 1946. In fact, looking through the Praetorian of 1995, I discovered a photograph of Mr. Wilkes in the Praetorian, and he was in fact employed at the school during the year of 1995. It has always been my pleasure to welcome Mr. Wilkes to these reunion assemblies as one of our special guests. It is with sadness that I share with you that Mr. Wilkes passed away peacefully on the 5th of August at the age of 97. As the honorary life president of the Old Boys Association, Mr. Wilkes was always invited to the Old Boys reunions, occasions which he always thoroughly enjoyed. Today is the first reunion that he will be missing since his passing. I ask you to please stand as we offer Mr. Wilkes a moment of silence as we reflect on this loyal and dedicated old boy and servant of our school. Please stand. Thank you. Please be seated. We move to the cultural results and awards for the past week. I begin with the Cultural Man of the Week. This week's Cultural Man of the Week is a special one in that it is shared between two brothers, Julian van Grienen from 3 Boy in Townhouse and his brother James van Grienen, who's a Form 1 boy. Julian joined this year by his brother James, competed and represented Pretoria Boys High School at the Sinisa Equestrian Sports Tshwane qualifiers at the Gauteng finals this year. Equestrian sports is horse riding and horse jumping. Julian and James performed well in the qualifiers, where they were subsequently selected for the Tshwane team, and both performed well in the Gauteng finals held earlier in August. Both boys have been selected to represent Boys High and Gauteng at the upcoming Sinisa National Championships, which will take place in September and October. James has been selected to compete in the dressage, and Julian has been selected to compete in the dressage freestyle, and the Prix Caprile. The boys take great pride in representing Pretoria Boys High School, and we're very proud of their achievements. Julian and James are our Cultural Men of the Week. Well done, boys. I'll move across to some academic awards. The first academic award is the Michael Crosley Award, which is made each year. The Wing Commander Michael Crosley Award is made each year to the Form 2 boy considered to have produced the most outstanding history research assignment on the Battle of Britain. Michael Crosley was the top scoring Royal Air Force pilot of the Battle of Britain, scoring 22 victories and earning the nickname of the Red Knight. After the war, he came to South Africa and farmed in the Lowveld. It was his wish that the memory of those who had served and died in the World War II be commemorated, and he bequeathed a sum of money to Boys High for this purpose. This year's recipients of the Crosley Memorial Award are Keaton Shaw, Matthew Greef, and Matthew Ehlert. I ask these 3 boys to come forward to collect their prize. Well done, gentlemen. We are proud to announce the following boys have been selected to participate in the ASASA, or the Actuarial Society of South African Mathematics, team competition. The Gauteng North team will compete against approximately 50 other teams across South Africa. This competition will take place on Saturday, the 13th of September, at the Hatfield campus at the University of Pretoria. The following boys have been selected for the competition. In the junior team, from Form 1, Sebastian Steenekamp. In Form 2, also for the junior team, Daniel Bester, Tevan van Wyk, and George van Wijngaard. And in the senior team, one of our matric boys in his absence, Noam Bini. We congratulate these boys, and we wish them all the best for the competition. Well done. terms of cultural activities for the weekend, I mentioned a few weeks ago that our under-19 chess team have won the regional competition in Pretoria. They will now participate in the top schools competition, and that will take place this weekend in Benoni. We trust that the boys will do well. We move across to sport. Results from last week's Gauteng Provincials Lead Tournament. This is for climbing. We had 3 boys competing in their respective age groups. Philip Ansbach placed 6th in the Youth A category, Peter Foster 4th in the Youth A category, and Oliver Smythe placed 3rd in the Junior category. Subsequent to these results, Peter Foster has been selected to represent Gauteng at the National Championships, which will take place in Cape Town on the weekend of the 12th to the 14th of September. We congratulate all these boys, but in particular Peter Foster. Well done. Some results from cricket matches played during the course of the week. These are all Pretoria League matches. The under-15 C team playing against Hoërskool Waterkloof. Hoërskool Waterkloof 137 for 7. Lokanyo Mofokeng 4 wickets for 37 runs. Pretoria Boys High 139 for 2. Tyler Fletcher 56 not out, and Malcolm du Toit 32. We won the match by 8 wickets. Under-14 A team, Prestige College 96 all out. Pretoria Boys High, 99 for 1. PJ McKechnie, in his spell bowling, took 6 wickets for 16 runs. We won that match by 9 wickets. Pretoria Boys High under 15A cricket team, 202 all out. Abnev Radhakrishan, 36, and Matthew Jensen, 33. Marais Viljoen under 15A, 160 all out. Caden Barnes took 3 wickets for 23 runs. George Vian, 3 wickets for 25 runs. And Matthew Ehlert, 3 wickets for 39 runs. We won that match by 42 runs. Our first team, Pretoria Boys High, 267 for 6. Timothy Gordon, 75. And Ethan Nell scoring 58. Marais Viljoen, 196 all out. Joseph van Dijk taking 3 wickets for 30 runs. And Justin Bastille, 3 wickets for 32 runs. We won that match by 69 runs. Soccer results from the course of the week. These are Pretoria League soccer matches against Centurion Secondary School. Under 14A won their match 7-0. Under 15A soccer team won their match 18-0. The third team lost to Pretoria Secondary. Second team 1-0. And our second team drew to Centurion Secondary School 1-all. League matches against Midstream College. The under-14B team won their match 2-0. The under-14A team won their match 11-2. The under-15B team won their match 3-1. The under-15A team won 4-0. The under-16B team won 7-0. The under-16A team drew 1-all. The second team won their match 4-0. And the first team beat Midstream College 1-0. Our sportsman of the week. One of our under-15A soccer players wins the award this week. Alicio Chedina, playing for the under-15A soccer team against Centurion Secondary School, scored a remarkable 6 goals in his team's huge win of 18-0 in that match. We congratulate Alicio as well as the team, but he is our sportsman of the week. Well done. Our sports team of the week, under 14A cricket team, wins the award this week. Playing against Prestige College under 14A this past week, the under 14A cricket team bowled Prestige College out for 96 runs. The boys' eye team scored the runs with only 1 wicket down, winning the match by 9 wickets, which also gave them a valuable bonus point. The captain of the under 14A cricket team is PJ McKechnie, who played a vital role in securing the win, taking 6 wickets himself. So he's the captain of the team of the week, the under 14A cricket team. Well done. I have one sports color award to announce. 2 weeks ago, we announced the winter sports colors. There was one player who was omitted when we investigated the injury cause. Due to the injury, the young man qualified for half colors. It gives me great pleasure to announce that Heinrich Skuman receives half colors for squash. Well done. Golf, it gives me great pleasure to announce that Tristan Rousseau, a Form 3 boy in Matheson House, has been selected for the Gauteng North High School's golf team, and he'll be representing the province in the interprovincial tournament hosted by the Northwest Province during the October holidays. We congratulate Tristan on his provincial selection. Well done. Sports arrangements for the weekend. Cricket, the Pretoria Boys High School first and second cricket teams will be playing against Hoërskool Garsfontein over the weekend. These are both Pretoria League matches. The Boys High first team will play on Hofmeyer Oval. The match will begin at 9 o'clock. And the second team will be playing on Abernethy Field. That match will also begin at 9 o'clock. Soccer matches for the course of the weekend. All our soccer matches are against Parktown Boys High School from Johannesburg. We'll be playing matches both at home and away. The first matches at both venues will begin at 8 o'clock. The Pretoria Boys High School first soccer team will play the main game away at Parktown, starting at 1:15. The teams playing away are all the open teams, under 16 teams and under 14 teams, and the under 15 teams will be playing at home. Soccer transport, the under 15 teams, or the first team, under 16, under 14 teams that are playing away. Your buses will be leaving at 6:20. You to please ensure that you're at the loch at 6 o'clock, that we can leave timeously and we can get the matches at 8 o'clock in Johannesburg started on time. Please remember that you need to be dressed in your full school tracksuit. You need to have the appropriate shoes on, which are sports tackies. If you do not have the right kit, you'll not be allowed onto the bus and you'll not be allowed to play. So please ensure that you're on time, 6 o'clock, and that you are dressed correctly. Rugby. The Pretoria Boys High School first 7-a-side rugby squad will be playing in friendly warm-up matches against Hoërskool Waterkloof on Saturday. Those matches will be taking place during the course of the morning on Brooks Field. Water polo, there will be a number of internal water polo matches taking place at the school on Saturday. The first matches begin at 8 o'clock as we get the water polo season started. Also, sporting activities for the weekend. 20 of our mountain bike riders will be participating in the next Cycle Lab Schools race. This race will take place on Saturday at Steyn City. I also remind you that on the 6th and 7th of September, that's next weekend, we'll be hosting the annual 24-hour mountain bike race. It promises to be a fun 24 hours with food stalls and live entertainment and much more. If any of you are still wanting to enter teams, please see Mrs. Martins. You can see her in room 20 or read the notice board next to room 20 where all the necessary information is. One general announcement from me, and that has to do with your summer uniform. Your housemasters and tutors would have communicated this with you already, but with the weather warming up and spring upon us, as of this Monday, you have 2 weeks to transition into your summer or into your khaki uniform. This means that by Monday, the 15th of September, all of you must be in summer uniform. If you need to get new summer uniform, please make the necessary arrangements. By the Monday, the 15th of September, all of you must be in the khaki summer uniform. The order of the assembly, with this being a 30-year-on reunion assembly, will be slightly adjusted. And that is because the Dixie Band, who are performing for us this morning, there are 1 or 2 members of the Dixie Band who need to leave early to go and perform in further concerts this afternoon. So we will start this part of the assembly with our musical item. The musical item, as I've just mentioned, will be performed by the Dixie Band. They'll be performing 2 pieces for us, Monsters Incorporated, the theme from that, composed by R. Newman. They'll also be playing a piece called Leaving School Blues, which was composed by Dr. Neil van der Walt. We look forward to listening to the Dixie Band perform. Thank you very much, Mr. Kutsia. Thank you for the Dixie Band, who are always entertaining. We now move the focus of the Assembly to the class of 1995. During the 1990s, while the gentlemen who are with us this morning were attending this school, South Africa was certainly a very interesting place. Subsequent to the first democratic elections that had taken place in the country in 1994, the political landscape was changing, and 1995 was a particularly uplifting and exciting year in this regard. In 1995, South Africa focused on healing and national unity by establishing the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to investigate apartheid-era human rights violations. In 1995, the country replaced the interim constitution with a new one, and in the process, established the Day of Reconciliation. Additionally, the Constitutional Court abolished capital punishment in June 1995. Possibly the standout feature of 1995 was the hosting and winning of the 1995 Rugby World Cup, a moment that symbolized national unity and was embraced by the President, Mr. Nelson Mandela. Very few South Africans of the time will ever forget Joel Stransky's injury time dropkick to seal the victory against the All Blacks, and the moment when Springbok captain Francois Pienaar, together with our President Nelson Mandela, lifted the Webb Ellis Trophy. Interesting facts from 1995 while living in South Africa. In 1995, the population of the country was 44 million, and petrol cost R1.75 a litre. Today, the country's population is 65 million, and a litre of petrol will cost you 20 rand. In 1995, the exchange rate with the dollar was 4 rand to the dollar, and a Big Mac burger would cost you 7 rand. Today, $1 will cost you 18 rand, and a Big Mac burger will cost you 60 rand. If one takes a look at the world in 1995, some notable events include the Oklahoma City bombing, killing 168 people and becoming the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in the United States, shaking the nation and prompting new anti-terrorism laws. The year 1995 could really be counted as year zero of the digital world we live in today. Both Amazon and eBay launched in 1995. The first item ever to be sold on eBay was a broken laser printer. Microsoft launched Windows 95, and Microsoft took its first significant plunge into the waters of the World Wide Web, which saw the emergence of the internet and into mainstream, or bringing the internet into mainstream circulation. Throughout 1995, millions of people went online for the first time, and thousands of companies bought .com domain names. The web was now open for business. From January 1995 through to December of the same year, the web grew from just over 10,000 websites to over 100,000. In 1995, PlayStation made its debut. In 1995, movie of the year was Die Hard with a Vengeance, starring Bruce Willis. Top grossing movies included Toy Story, Batman Forever, and Apollo 13. Toy Story was in fact the first fully computer animated film to be produced. And in 1995, the top song of the year was Coolio Gangsta's Paradise, and Brad Pitt was voted the sexiest man alive. If we look at Pretoria Boys High School in 1995, headmaster, Mr. Schroeder, head boy, Robert Schmickel, deputy head boy, Ian Williams. There were a total of 21 prefects. In 1995, today, there are 33 prefects. In 1995, the school had 1,270 boys in it. Today, we have 1,530 boys. In 1995, we had 68 teachers. Today, we have an academic staff of 102. In 1995, the school had 13 admin staff. Today, we have 27. The school fees in 1995 were 2,400 rand per year, and boarding fees were 4,850 rand per year. Today, the school fees are 70,000 rand per year, and boarding will cost you 90,000 rand a year. In 1994, the school budget was 1.2 million. I couldn't get the budget in 1995. Today, the budget is 150 million. In 1995, the school had 8 houses. Today, we have 10. In a change I'm sure the class of 1995 will remember well, in 1991, the school went from having 6 houses to 8 houses, with Mr. Schroeder adding the houses of Hofmeyer and Matheson Day houses. It was then in 1996 that Abernethy and Armstrong Daybo houses were to follow. Together with the increase in the number of houses was the growth of the school, as the school went from 1,000 boys in 1991 to its current capacity of 1,500. Linked to this growth was the fact that in 1994, the school was able to annex and make use of the buildings used by the Art, Ballet and Music School, which would become known as Pollock Campus. The use of Pollock Campus is in its entirety took place in 1995. As the school continued to grow, in the process, the capacity of the boarding houses was increased. And in 1995, this was also the year that the building of the central dining hall was completed, creating additional accommodation space in the boarding houses. Not only was 1995 a time of change for our country, but it was obviously also a time of change and growth for our school. On the sports field in 1995, the first rugby team played 22 matches. They won 15, drew 2 and lost 5. The first hockey team played 29 matches, winning 15, drawing 5 and losing 9. 1995 was also the year that the first rugby and hockey teams went on a combined tour of Zimbabwe, a trip I'm sure many of the class of 1995 remember well. The school production in the same year was To Kill a Mockingbird, with the lead role of Atticus Finch, played by Robert Otto. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the two gentlemen who joined me on the stage this afternoon. Mr. Ian Williams, obviously matriculated in 1995, where he was Deputy Head Prefect and a member of Rusick House. Mr. Williams participated in rugby, water polo, swimming and athletics, receiving full colours for rugby and half colours for athletics. After leaving Pretoria Boys, from 1997 to the year 2000, he studied at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, where he did his BSc in agriculture, specializing in animal and poultry science. From 2001 to 2002, he studied in the United States at the Colorado State University. After returning from the United States in 2003, he took up the position of a full-time farmer in Barberton and Mpumalanga, a career he continues to follow today. From 2012 to 2022, Mr. Williams was the South African Macadamia Growers Association chairman, vice chairman, and latterly the chairman. Since 2021, he's been the Golden Macadamia Director and currently vice chairman of the board of directors. Mr. Williams is married to Christy Williams. They have 3 sons, Cole, James, and Wyatt, one of whom has attended Pretoria Boys, one who's attending Pretoria Boys, and one who will attend Pretoria Boys. Mr. Williams' father and great uncles all attended the school, and he proclaims himself to currently be Pretoria Boys High School's #1 supporter, and I can certainly vouch for that. On Mr. Williams' right-hand side is Advocate Adrian de Oliveira. Mr. de Oliveira was a school prefect and deputy head of Hofmeyer House. In the classroom, he achieved academic honors, and on the sports field, he ran middle distance for the school's athletics team, played second-team rugby, and third-team cricket. He also sang in the choir and participated annually in the 4 schools concert. Mr. de Oliveira studied law at the University of Pretoria, and in 2002 was awarded a Fulbright scholarship to study a master's degree at the University of Notre Dame in the United States. Mr. de Oliveira is an advocate of the High Court of South Africa and serves as an acting judge. I will ask Mr. Williams to address us this afternoon. Mr. de Oliveira will be in charge of the devotional side of the assembly. I'm going to ask Mr. Williams to come forward. Before I do that, I'm just going to adjust the microphone. As you've picked up, there's a lot of static in the microphone, so just bear with me as I adjust it.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Quite elaborate, scraping the barrel a bit there, but thank you very much for that. And to all the teachers here today, thank you very much for the opportunity that we could be here. For all of you, this is an annual event, but for the 95 boys, it's both unique and really quite humbling to be here. So thank you. To the young men in the hall, the life and soul of Boys High, I thank you in advance for your indulgence I'm under strict instructions from quite a few of you, especially this area over here, to keep it short and sweet and get you out of what's usually quite a long assembly as soon as possible. I'll do my best. Well, so this is really every bit as intimidating as I hoped it wouldn't be. And I've been racking my brain to come up with some single piece of profound advice that I can bestow upon you guys today. And no dice, I'm afraid. It's been really tough. Because unlike my 95 compatriots up in the gallery and here on stage, whose list of accomplishments and accolades is as long as a really tall person's leg, I have achieved very little of note over the past 30 years. Yeah, you will not have seen me on television or read about me in the press or, heaven forbid, on social media. So what could I possibly have to share with you champions here today? And then fortunately in a moment of inspiration, a rather brief moment, I might add, it came to me, that one thing that separates me from the pack, puts me really head and shoulders above most people that I know. And that is the quite remarkable number of failures that I've been involved in over the years. I've been on the pointy end of more learning opportunities, more commonly known as utter failures, I know, than I really care to divulge here today. But the sheer volume of these learning opportunities has put me in a position to have become, I believe, passably good at the game of life. Now, what is the game of life? It's a bit of a paradox, really, because it is not a game that you can win, but it is absolutely a game that you can lose at. It is both elegantly simple and at times frustratingly complex. And the objective in the game of life, and I'm going to quote, probably to his surprise, one of my friends in the gallery, also a 95 boy, Maloko Ramatsui. Hope you don't mind me quoting you, big guy. But the objective in the game of life, simply put, is to find your place in this world, a place where you can thrive and be happy. Sounds simple, ne? Let me tell you, it's not quite as simple as it sounds, but the people that I do admire most are those who, certainly from the outside, appear to be smashing the game of life. And they all seem to have one common thread running through their characters and the way in which they approach just about everything. And that is balance. The balance between work and play, risk and reward, the grind and frivolity, and sometimes even the balance between good and bad, right and wrong. And if there's one thing that I'd really love to, or really hope that I can communicate effectively to you today, it is the importance of finding this balance in your day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year. And I will attempt over the next few minutes to clarify a little bit what I mean by this balance. There is very little that I know for certain in life, but there are, however, a few things that I have become confident enough about to share with you here today. Things I wish I'd understood and embraced earlier in my life, because they would very likely have led to far fewer of those painful, teachable opportunities that I spoke about earlier. I'm also very conscious of the fact that over the next few minutes, there'll be quite a few of you guys looking up at the stage or down from the gallery and thinking to yourself, what on earth is this old toppy going on about? And boys, it's fine, really. I've made peace with it, I think mainly because of the microphone, but also because, as far as I know, they're not allowed to leave until the end of assembly. So hang in there, boys. I'm going to share hot tips for the game of life. Buckle up. Hot tips for the game of life, volume 1. Only one today, so don't panic. So the first is be intelligent. And for the purpose of today, I'm going to define intelligence as the ability to see the consequences of your actions and sometimes inaction. Intelligence is the ability to see consequence. And I can assure you, by this definition, each and every one of you are intelligent human beings should you choose to apply yourself. So engage your mind a little bit before you open your mouth or react on impulse. Every word, every action elicits a response from the people around you and therefore has consequences. So do your best to always anticipate those responses and resultant consequences, remembering that in any given situation, should you not say enough, people may think you're a fool. But if you say too much, they'll know for certain. Next is that I've found that happiness is very often a conscious choice. Obviously not always, and sometimes an incredibly difficult choice. But if you are able to teach yourself how to remain positive and intrinsically happy, despite your carefully laid plans going up in smoke, man, that is a rare and exceptionally useful skill, because it opens the doors to resilience, fortitude, determination, and all manner of other admirable character traits. So if it is at all possible, no matter how difficult, choose to be happy. Be bold and confident, but this is where the balance starts creeping in. Don't be overconfident, because you will be in danger of becoming an arrogant chop. And being an arrogant chop, don't ever do that. Take yourself seriously, because if you don't, nobody else will. But remember the balance. Don't be that all work all the time guy, because you will be in danger of becoming a boring chop. And this is also not good. Do not whine. Should you be unhappy with your circumstances, you have one of two options. The first is to grin and bear it. This is pretty tough sometimes. And the second is to get after it and change those circumstances. Whining is never an option, because you will be in danger of becoming a whiny. I think you get the picture. People will tell you, work smarter, not harder. There's a bit of merit here. Obviously, don't be doof about stuff. But unfortunately, I've yet to discover a substitute for the hard yards. Absolutely everything and anything worth having or achieving is worth those hard yards. So get after it. But remember, don't be doof. Remember the balance. People will tell you, don't sweat the details. In my humble opinion, this is shocking advice. Details absolutely do matter. But so too does the balance. So keep your eye on the ball. Don't lose sight of the goal. But remember that success or victory or whatever it is you want to call it is the sum of a whole boatload of tiny, tiny details. Sweat the details. Nail them down every day. From time to time, you will hear the old chestnut, forgive and forget. I like the first part. Always be very, very quick to forgive. Because life is both way too short and the balance could be way too long to burden yourself with a grudge. Be generous with compliments and absolutely miserly with insults. Everybody around you has got their own cross to bear, and you never really know what's going on in another person's life or inside their mind. So use words that build people up, not words that break people down. Compassion is your friend. Conflict is your enemy. Life at times does have a rather nasty way of kicking you in the teeth. If you are fortunate, this is metaphorical. It can sometimes be more literal, and you'll be very grateful for some compassion from those around you should you one day be kicked in the teeth. I personally have very seldom found conflict to be of much benefit. It is destructive by nature. So be that guy who pours water on conflict, not that guy who fans the flames. It is sometimes a very fine line to walk, the balance, you see, Because if you constantly behave like a doormat, there are those who will wipe their feet on you. In some way, shape, or form, conflict is very often, sometimes, inevitable, unavoidable. And boys, if you must fight, and I feel I should pause here, Mr. Hassenkamp, I'm speaking metaphorically, because fighting is bad. But if you're out of options, then you absolutely must fight, metaphorically speaking. Are we good? Thank you. Boys, then I recommend you fight early, fight hard, and fight to win. Because sometimes the only meaningful peace is the peace which is found on the other side of a big scrap. I see I'm going comfortably over time here, outstaying my welcome, probably in danger of becoming one of those boring chops I mentioned earlier. But I've got one more. Please hang in there, boys. I'm nearly done. A very, very important one, though. Possibly even more important than the balance, believe it or not. Do not ever allow anybody to convince you of what you are or are not capable of. That is for you and you alone to determine. So be ambitious. Rather to have attempted mighty deeds and look back on a life checkered by failure than to look back on a life without any failure, but without any real success either. As I look around the hall here today, I'm struck, as I so often am at Boys High, by diversity. And I'm not speaking of religious, cultural, racial diversity. Those have long been a given at Boys High. What strikes me is the diversity and the potential talents and skill sets in this room here today. There are those amongst you who will rise to lofty heights in academia, culture, music, business and sport. And we will all one day be exceptionally proud of those individuals. But in the room are also a very large number of employees and employers, hopefully a much smaller number of those who will join the ranks of the unemployed for a while, and hopefully none who will join the ranks of the unemployable. There are bakers and bankers, surfers and stockbrokers, laborers and lawyers, the full spectrum of society in this room here today. In my humble opinion, this is exactly the way that it should be and exactly what the world needs. So please embrace that. From the 95 boys here today and from the very bottom of my heart, my greatest wish to each and every one of you, our greatest wish to each and every one of you, is that you find that elusive, perfect equilibrium, that unique and very personal balance that will allow you to succeed at the game of life, find your place in this world, wherever, or whatever that looks like, thrive and be happy. Mr. Hassenkamp, to you and all the staff, it is clear and obvious to the middle-aged balding crowd in the gallery from our tour this morning that the school that we love and cherish is in exceptionally capable hands. And for this, we are very grateful and we salute you all. So the heart and soul of Boys High. Boys, be intelligent, choose to be happy, grip it and rip it every single day. But please, I beg you, don't forget to remember the balance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for that very thoughtful, heartfelt, metaphorical address that you gave. If the boys are listening, which I believe they were, if they can take one, maybe two nuggets from that speech of yours, I believe it will hold them in good stead for the rest of their lives. So thank you very much for that. We'll move to the devotional side of the assembly, which will begin with the singing of our hymn today. And hymn today is a hymn which is chosen by the class of 1995. It is hymn number 7, Immortal, Invisible, God Only Wise. Hymn number 7.
Walter Chisek was born in 1904 in Pennsylvania, USA. He was bright, tough, and strong-willed. But he started life on the wrong foot as a member of a street gang. He was so troublesome that his own parents tried to get him into a reformatory. So it was a surprise to everyone when, as a young man, he announced that he wanted to become a priest. From 1928, when Chisek was studying for the priesthood, he felt God calling him to be an underground missionary priest in communist Russia. When Germany invaded Poland in 1939, he slipped into Russia by joining the streams of refugees moving east. He was arrested by Russian soldiers in 1941. When the Russian secret police found out he was a priest, he was taken to the dreaded Lubyanka prison in Moscow. Lubyanka was the place where the Russian secret police broke men in body and spirit. Confinement at Lubyanka was solitary and in absolute silence, in small, white-walled prison cells in which almost all daylight and fresh air was blocked out by a metal sheet that covered the only window. Prisoners were not allowed to sit. They could only lie down on their steel beds at night, and during all waking hours, they had to remain standing. The guards wore cloth over their shoes so that they could sneak up on the prison doors and catch the men if they were sitting. The amount of food the prisoners were fed was only just enough to survive, but not enough to satisfy the pangs of hunger, which were even worse after a meal than before. Being tough and strong-willed, Chiswick thought that he could overcome the interrogators. But the isolation and lack of food took its toll. He eventually succumbed and, in his lowest moment, signed a confession that he was a spy, when this was not even true. It was in this moment, after he was taken back to his cell, a man broken in body and in spirit, that he learnt that he had been defeated because he was trying to get through on his own strength. There, in Lubyanka, in that seemingly God-forsaken place, he learnt that he was not alone, but that God was with him. There, in that place, where the Russians seemed to have total control over life and death, he learnt that his life was in God's hands and that it was God who had control over life and death. There, in that place, where his circumstances and suffering could almost not be worse, he learnt that God loved him and would not let him go through any more than he could handle with God's help and strength. From then on, trusting absolutely in God's plan for his life and relying on God for strength to face whatever lay before him, Chiswick became unbreakable. From then on, he faced his interrogators without fear, even though they could have prisoners put to death immediately. Chiswick survived in Lubyanka for 5 years. After that, he was sent to do hard labor in Siberia. It was there in the harsh and often freezing conditions, while doing manual labor for 12 to 14 hours a day, every day, that he finally got to secretly encourage, serve, and minister to the spiritual needs of his fellow prisoners as a priest. He did this for 15 years before he was released on parole. For 2 more years, he lived in towns in Siberia doing manual work and at the same time secretly serving and ministering to the Russian people day and night. Finally, in 1963, he was repatriated to the USA in exchange for Russian agents. I close with words from Walter Chiswick. The question most often asked of me is, how did you manage to survive? The answer is faith. God has a special purpose, a special love, a special providence for all those he has created. God cares for each one of us individually, watches over us, and provides for us. The circumstances of each day of our lives, every moment of every day, are provided for by him. Let theologians argue about how this is so. Let the philosophers and sophisticated people of this world question and doubt whether it can be so. The revealed truth that we have in God's word simply says that it is so, and it is true.
Let us pray. O Lord God of truth, whom to know is everlasting life, and to serve his perfect freedom, grant that we may draw near to thee in thought, word, and deed. Inspire us with the love of thy creatures and thy laws, that in all humility and teachableness, with patience and understanding, by honest and earnest labor, we may seek after knowledge as a blessing that cometh from thee. Whether it be our part to teach or learn, to rule or obey, make us feel thy presence in our several duties, filling us with reverence for the beauty and wonder of thy universe, and pouring on us a spirit of justice, gentleness, and mutual goodwill. Thus, by thy grace, may we so use this house of learning that we may prepare our powers of body, mind, and spirit to advance the good of man and the glory of God. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace, today and forevermore. Please stand for the singing of 40 Years On.
Amen.
the school would please remain standing while our guests and the staff leave.